Hello, good morning everyone. Today we will go for the anatomy of the internal features of the heart. Last class we can go the studied the external features of the heart. Today we will go for the internal features of the heart. In that, how the heart is receive the blood, how they discharge or propel the blood to the systematic circulation. Another one is how the conducting system of the heart will work, how the arteries are work, and what are the structures of atrium and ventricles. All internal structures of the heart we can go for, or internal features of the heart, or walls of the heart we can go for today. Okay, we can go for the next slide. We already discussed heart is a hollow muscular organ. Okay, heart is made up of completely by the muscles, and it is located in the thorax between the two lungs, means in the between the mediastinum, mainly in the middle mediastinum, and it has the four chambers, four valves, two atriums and two ventricles, and it has the two separate the pumps, or it has the right and left sided pumps. Okay, pumps, because they say they are pumps because they pumps the blood to the systematic circulation. These are two different systematic circulations are there. One is pulmonary circulation, another one is for the systematic circulation. Okay, in that right side pump, or right side it is pumps the uh, to the pulmonary circulation, and left side it pumps to the systematic circulation, or all the whole the body except the lung. Okay, right side it receives the blood from the body, or mainly by the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava, and sends to the lungs. On the left side it receives the blood from the lungs and sends to the body, that is in the systematic circulation. Now before the in the internal features of the heart, now we can go for the main, it is layers of the heart or heart walls. The heart is made up of three walls, mainly pericardium, myocardium or endocardium, or pericardium also as a epicardium. In pericardium, first you know the what is mean by the pericardium. The cardium or cardia is another name for the heart, or it is a synonym for the heart. Okay, pericardium, it is name comes from the Greek. Peri means around. Okay, around. Cardia means heart. Okay, around the pericardium means around the heart. This is a layer, or this is the external that surrounds the heart or muscular layer of the heart, that is called as a pericardium. In pericardium also has the two layers. One is visceral pericardium, another one is parietal pericardium. Visceral means it is related to the organ or viscera. Parietal means it's related to the outside wall of the heart. Okay, in that you can go for pericardium, myocardium and endocardium. These are the three layers of the heart. Epicardium means external or outer layer of the heart. Epi means upper or outer. Okay, myo means myocardium. Myo means muscular. Myo means it denotes the muscle. Cardium means heart, muscles of the heart. Okay, this layer is completely made by the muscles of the heart, that's why it is called as a myocardium. Myo means muscle, cardium means heart, muscles of the heart. Okay, and this is present middle. Okay, middle layer of the heart. Okay, now you can go for the endocardium. Endocardium is the innermost layer, or within. Endo means within. Okay, then endocardium means the innermost layer of the heart. Okay, this is called as the endocardium. Now we can go for the somewhat detail about what is meant by endocardium. Endocardium is the deepest layer of the heart or innermost layer of the heart, the smooth lining to reduce the friction of the blood flow. Another one is endocardium is prevent the suction of blood by the heart. Okay, endocardium layer, it's prevent the suction of the blood from the heart. Myocardium, it is completely made by the muscles. Okay, and it is present middle of the layers of the heart. The middle layer, it is myocardium, it is a middle layer of the heart. The location of the muscle responsible for the pumping. Okay. Another one is the thickness of the muscle. Okay, how much is thickness, that much there is increase the ability of the pumping of the heart. Okay, if myocardium thickness is more, that much is the pumping capacity or ability to the pump, it is more compared to the other. Okay, the thickness of the myocardium, it denotes the ability of the pumping of the heart. Then we can go for the pericardium. Pericardium is the outermost layer of the heart, and it is outer protective layer of the heart, and it is composed of the two layers, mainly visceral pericardium and parietal pericardium. These visceral pericardium and visceral pericardium also say as a epipericardium, and parietal pericardium say as a pericardium. And in between the visceral pericardium and parietal pericardium, there is space is there. That space is say as a pericardial cavity, and this pericardial cavity is little bit filled with the fluid. Okay, not completely, little bit, because this fluid is prevent the friction between the epicardium and parietal pericardium, and this space is allowed to heart to contract and dilate to the in the pericardium. Okay, and this pericardium is covers the whole heart up to their major vessels of the heart, or up to the ascending aorta, up to the pulmonary trunk or major vessels of the heart. It's this pericardium. In that, mainly in that parietal pericardium, it covers the up to the major vessels of the heart. Okay. Now you can go for the pericardium. Before that, we know the how the pericardium is formed, or how it is covers the heart. Okay. In that, here you can see here pericardium. Before that, we take the one balloon and punch it like this. Okay, or press like this. In that, you see the two layers. Okay, this is a balloon. Okay, punches, can see two layers. In that, this is the outermost layer and this is the innermost layer. Okay, see, this punch is nothing but, can understand it, this is a heart. Okay, which part of the pericardium or balloon, innermost layer of the balloon, is attached to the heart? Okay, or muscles of the heart or cardiac. Okay, that layer is called as epicardium or visceral pericardium. It means which layer, okay, or which surface is attached to the viscera or heart muscles, that is called as a visceral pericardium, and which is outside the outermost layer of the balloon or outermost layer of the heart, that covers the major vessels, everything. Okay, that layer is called as a parietal pericardium, and this between inner layer and outer layer, the space is there. Okay, this space is say as a pericardial cavity. Okay, you can see here in this is the heart, muscular structure of the heart, and this is the innermost layer of the heart. This is called as a visceral pericardium, and outermost layer of the heart, it is called as a parietal pericardium, and the cavity is say as the space between these two layers or coverings. Okay, this is about pericardium. The visceral pericardium, it is covers the muscular structure of the heart. Okay, or it covers the myocardium, and parietal pericardium, it covers the visceral pericardium, and parietal pericardium, it also covers the major vessels of the heart. Okay, now you can see here the pericardium and visceral pericardium and parietal pericardium. Okay, in this is the outermost layer, this line like this. Okay, here it is also covers the vessels, major vessels of the heart, aorta or ascending aorta and pulmonary tank like this. Okay, and this is innermost layer of the heart like this. This is the innermost layer of the heart. That innermost layer is called as a visceral pericardium. This pericardium, okay, the main function of the pericardium is, okay, the parietal pericardium, it is fixed. Okay, first parietal pericardium, it is fixed. Okay, because of that what happened, the pericardium, it restricts the excessive movements of the heart. Okay, because of this parietal pericardium, it restricts the excessive movements of the heart. Okay, and it prevents the over dilatation of the heart. Our pericardium, which is mainly in that parietal pericardium it restricts the excessive movement of the heart, and it prevents the over dilatation of the heart. Another one is it helps in the keeps the large vessels open. Because of this pericardium, it helps you large vessels of the heart, they make open. Another one is this pericardium, parietal pericardium, it maintains the central position of the heart. Okay, because this parietal pericardium only to the attached to the central tendon of the heart or mediastinum, okay, or in the lungs. Pericardium only attached to the lungs. Okay, and this pericardium helps in the venous return also. Okay, the main function of the heart or pericardium, in that mainly parietal pericardium, it is fixed. Okay, because of that what happen, the pericardium, it restricts the excessive movements of the heart, or the pericardium prevents the over dilatation of the heart. You can see here, this is heart will dilate up to the one state because of that this pericardium. It not excessive dilates or excessive movement will happen because of that this pericardium. You can see here, because here there is outermost layer. Okay, this is fixed. This is a pericardium. Okay, this outermost layer is fixed. See, like this, this outermost layer is fixed, and this is a epicardium. Okay, this is moving, and this space is say as a pericardial space or pericardial cavity. Okay, can go for next slide. The heart is surrounded by the membrane is called as a pericardium. Okay, already explained about this. The pericardium, it is made by the two layers. One is fibrous, another one is serous. Okay, our whole pericardium is say as a fibroserous sac. Okay, it is say sac because it covers the heart. Okay, or it is sac like. Okay, in this sac heart will situated, because of that it is say as a sac. Okay, the pericardium is a fibroserous sac that enclose the heart and roots of the great vessels. The pericardium lies within the middle mediastinum. Now we can go for the functions of the pericardium. In that we can make the two layers or two structures. It is whole pericardium. When you consider the whole pericardium, then it is fibroserous. If you consider visceral and parietal, then parietal pericardium, it is fibrous, and visceral pericardium, it is serous. Okay, then the functions of the fibrous pericardium or parietal pericardium, that maintain the central position of the heart, keeps the large vessels open, helps in venous return, act as a wall of serous pericardium, and prevents the over dilatation of the heart. Then serous pericardium, then epipericardium or visceral pericardium. It is serous sacs that has been investigated by the developing the heart in the fetal life. The visceral layer is as epicardium, parietal layer is a line of fibrous pericardium, and pericardial cavity is nothing but the space between the the visceral and parietal pericardium. And go for the next slide. Okay. Now in this we can go for the myocardium. This is a middle layer of the heart. Okay, and it is name also it suggests myo means muscle, cardium means heart, the muscular layer of the heart. This is present in between the epicardium and endocardium. Myocardium is completely made up by the muscle, and the thickness of the muscle or myocardium, it's that much is the it denotes the that much pumping capacity of the heart. Okay, the thickness of the myocardium or wall it determines the strength of heart or ability of the to pump ability of the heart to pump the blood. Okay, the thickness of the heart or thickness of the muscle or thickness of the myocardium that determines the strength of heart's ability to pump the blood. Okay, can go for the next slide. Okay, in this origin of the myocardium. Myo means muscle, cardium means heart, IM means tissue or structure. Myocardium means muscular tissue of the heart. The myocardium is the muscular wall of the heart or heart muscles that contract to pump blood out of the heart, then relax as the heart refill with the returning the blood. In that, myocardium or cardiac muscle is the thickest section of the heart wall and contains the cardiomyocytes. Here one name is cardiomyocytes. Cardio means heart, myo means muscle, cytes means cells. Cardiomyocytes means muscular cells of the heart, which are the contractile cells of the heart. The thickness of the myocardium determines the strength of the heart ability to pump the blood. Now we can go for the endocardium. Endocardium, it is a innermost layer of the heart. Okay, and it prevents the suction of the blood into the layers of the heart. Okay, the innermost layer of the heart or cardiac wall is known as the endocardium. It is lines the cavity and walls of the heart. The structurally the endocardium is composed of loose connective tissue and simple squamous epithelial tissue. It is similar in its composition to the endocardium, which lines the inside the blood vessels. You can see here the endocardium is the innermost layer of the heart. There is another one is layer is the subendocardial layer. Then according to name, sub means below the endocardium, but in that it is not the below the endocardium. This layer is present in between the myocardium and endocardium or muscle layer of the muscular layer of the heart and innermost layer of the heart. And this subendocardial layer, it contains the major vessels of the muscles of the heart and nerves of the heart and vessels of the heart. Okay, we can go for the subendocardial layer. The subendocardial layer lies between and joins the endocardium and the myocardium. It consists of a layer of loose fibrous tissue containing the vessels and nerves of the conducting system of the heart. In that mainly Purkinje fibers of the muscles of the heart and Purkinje fibers are located in this layer. As the subendocardial layer houses the conducting system of the heart, and damage to this layer can result in various arrhythmias. Arrhythmias means there is difference or different heartbeats. It may be tachycardia, it may be bradycardia, it may be contractions of the heart or pericardial contractions, of the heart or immature contractions of the heart. You can see here in this, okay, this is some endocardium. In that Purkinje fibers and blood vessels or vessels of the heart are present. This is present in between the epicardium and the myocardium of the heart. You can go for the next slide. That is, you can go for the heart chamber. They are mainly 4 in numbers. There 2 are atria and 2 are ventricles. Arteries are present superiorly, ventricles are present inferiorly. In that, atriums are mainly receive the blood from the respective body parts, and ventricles are pumps or discharge the blood to the respective body parts. Okay, you can see here in this. Okay, atrium means I already explained. Atrium means it is open roofed entrance hall or any chamber that is connects the other chamber or passage. Ventricle means is a hollow or cavity in the organ. Okay, the meaning of the atrium and the ventricles. Okay, we can go for the next slide. In that we can just some features, we can study this some features of the atrium and ventricle. You can see here, this is a atrium and ventricles. Okay, you can see here, this is a right atrium and this is the left atrium. This is the right ventricle and this is the left ventricle. You can see here, this is a atrium. Okay, can give the some features of the atrium. Atrium I already explained. Meaning of the atrium or arteries, open roofed hall. Okay, open roofed entrance hall. Okay, you can see here, this is atrium. Atrium is open oboli or superiorly in the both the side. Okay, in right atrium it is open roof entrance hall. In that right atrium is open superiorly by the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. In left side it is opens anti-roofly by the pulmonary veins. Okay, another one thing you can see here, atrium is thin walled chamber. Okay, you can see here, as compared to atrium and ventricle, atrium is has the thin walled chamber and ventricles are thick walled chambers. You can see here, as compared to atrium and ventricle, ventricles are thick. Okay, atrium are thin walled chambers. Another one is atrium are very small compared to the ventricle. Okay, atriums are very small compared to the ventricle. Okay, another one is these atriums are receiving chambers. You can say as a these are receiving chambers, and ventricles say as a these are discharging chambers. You can see here in this atriums are receive the bloods only. Okay, and ventricles are discharge the bloods. Okay, in this, okay, you can see here. Another one is atriums are present superior to the ventricles and ventricles are present inferiorly. In between the atrium and ventricle there are walls are there. They are called arterioventricular walls. Okay, or arteries are pumps the blood to the ventricles. Okay, and ventricles are propel the blood to the arteries, respective arteries. Okay, now we can go for the next slide. Okay, in that heart chambers, now in that we can go for the atria. We also already know the what is the meaning of the atria. Atria means it is open roofed entrance hall or any chamber that connects to the other chambers of the chambers or passages of the cavity. Okay, now we can go for the some features of the atriums. In that, arteries are very small compared to the ventricles and they are thin walled chambers compared to the ventricles. Arteries are small and thin walled chambers, and these are receiving chambers for blood returning to the heart from the circulation and pushes the blood into the adjacent ventricles. Another one thing is arteries are receive the blood from or receiving chambers. In that right side they receive the blood from the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, and left side by the pulmonary veins. Okay, now we can go for the ventricles. Already I told ventricle is means hollow or passage or cavity in the organ. Okay, these are ventricles are say as a these are the discharging chambers, or these are propel the blood to the respective arteries, and these are as compared to atrium, these are thicker, larger in the structure. Okay, the ventricles are the discharging chambers of the heart and propel the blood to the pulmonary trunk and aorta respectively. Pulmonary trunk to the by the right ventricle and aorta by the left ventricle. The ventricles make up most of the mass of the heart. Okay, the ventricle I already told are thicker and it made up of most of the mass of the heart and muscles of the heart. The wall of the left ventricle are 3 times thicker than those of the right. Okay, and right side ventricle it is crescentic type, and the left side ventricle is conical shape or rounded in shape, or right side ventricle it is funnel in shape, and left side ventricle it is rounded or conical in shape. You can see here in this structure, this is the right ventricle and this is the left ventricle. Go for the cross section. In that right ventricle it is look like a crescent shape or semilunar shape or half moon shape, and left ventricle see it is rounded or conical in shape. Okay, and left ventricle has the thicker musculature as compared to the right ventricle. Okay, and thickness of the muscles of myocardium, it denotes the ability of the pump the blood of the heart. Now we can go for the right atrium. Okay, in that the atrium, they receive the right atrium, it receives the deoxygenated blood from the inferior vena cava below and from the superior vena cava above. And right atrium has the 2 surfaces, in that anterior surface and posterior surface. Anterior surface is rough and posterior surface is smooth. The posterior surface is opens the most of structures. Okay, they are inferior vena cava, superior vena cava, coronary sinus. Okay, and also the fossa ovuli. Because of that, okay, the posterior wall of the atrium it is very smooth, and anterior wall of the right atrium it is rough because it contains the pectinate muscles of the heart. Okay, then we can go for the right atrium. Okay, in that there are 2 surfaces or 2 walls, that are anterior wall and posterior wall. Then in that most of the structures are open into the posterior wall of the right atrium. Because of that this is a smooth. These structures are opening of the superior vena cava, opening and walls of the inferior vena cava, opening and walls of the coronary sinus and fossa ovalis. Okay, these are the opens into the posterior wall of the heart. Then anterior wall of the right atrium it is rough because it contains the pectinate muscle and crista terminalis. Okay, in here we go the some structures of the right atrium. In that posterior wall. Okay, can see here, this is the posterior wall of the heart, and this is smooth in nature. This is the opening of the superior vena cava. Okay, and this is the opening of the inferior vena cava, and this is the wall of the inferior vena cava, and this is the opening of the coronary sinus. Here we go for what is mean by the coronary sinus. Coronary sinus is nothing but this is a venous drain or venous system or vein that is drain the whole deoxygenated blood of the heart. Okay, the coronary sinus, it is a collection of veins joined together and form the large vessel that collect the blood from the heart muscles. Okay, and then it delivers the less oxygenated blood to the right atrium. Okay, this is coronary sinus. It is nothing but it drains the blood of the heart. Which blood? That is deoxygenated. Okay, and it is a coronary sinus, nothing but it is a coronary vein of the heart. Okay, it drains the whole deoxygenated blood of the heart or deoxygenated blood from the muscles of the heart, and it is opens into the posterior wall of the right atrium. Okay, that is known as a what? Coronary sinus or opening of the coronary sinus, and it has its own wall. Okay, another one is, can see here, one is fossa ovalis. Okay, the fossa ovalis is nothing but it is a depression in the right atrium of the heart at the posterior wall, and where it is at the level of the intra-arterial septum, means between the right and left arterial wall or septum. Okay, this is a fossa ovalis is a depression in the right atrium of the heart at the level of the intra-arterial septum or wall between the right and left atrium, and this depression is covered by or it is one sheath or fibrous sheath that is covers this what fossa ovalis, or this is a remnant of the fibrous sheath that covers the foramen ovuli during the fetal development. Foramen ovuli. Now what is meant by the foramen ovuli? You can see here is a fossa ovalis. Okay. Okay. This is foramen ovalis, means nothing but this is a small hole located in the septum, which is the wall between the two upper arterial chambers. Okay. During the fetal life, the arterial septum, okay, or septum between the right atrium, left atrium, it has the one hole. That hole is called as a foramina ovuli, and it is present in the during the fetal life. And that foramina ovuli, it is closes after the birth of the baby, and that closed by the covering or sheathing by the fibrous sheath that is covers the foramen ovuli. Okay, and that cover area, it shows the one depression, okay, in the right atrium, and that depression is say as a fossa ovalis. Okay, these are the structures present in the right atrium. Another one thing, okay, you can see here there is one projection like projection of the atrium. Okay, these projections of the atrium or outpoachings of the atrium, okay, they are say as a uricles. Uricles are nothing but outpoachings, out uricles. You can see here in structure is there like this. Okay, this is say as a uricle. These uricles are nothing but outpoachings of the atriums. Okay, or external ear like outpoaching of the atrium are say as uricles. Uricles are nothing but these are the part of the atrium only, and these are present in the atrium only. Okay, but they are outpoachings of the atriums. That outpoachings are say as uricles. They are present in both the atriums, the right atrium and left atrium. Another one thing is, everyone say that SA node, okay, that is present in the here in the right atrium, but the SA node is present at the where the orifice of the superior vena cava is there. That is known as SA node. SA node, superior vena cava or superior arterial node. Okay, this is nothing but it is present here. Okay, this is present where the superior vena cava opens or orifice. Just above that you can see the SA node of the heart, and you can see here another one is AV node. Okay, you can see just above this is the valve, tricapside valve of the heart or arterioventricular valve. Just above the arterioventricular valve you can see towards the left side or just lateral to the intra-articular septum, and just above the tricapside valve you can see the AV node. Okay, here will be the AV node is present. Okay, this is about the right atrium. Now we can go further. What is the difference between atrium and uricles? Okay, atrium, it is referred to each of the two upper cavities or chambers of the heart which supplies the blood to the ventricle. Auricle refers to an ear-shaped pouch in the atrium of the heart or outpouching of the atrium of the heart. Atrium is the upper chamber of the heart. It is a conical muscular pouch that arises from the each atrium. Atrium supplies blood to the corresponding ventricle. Auricle, it increases the blood holding capacity of the atrium. It composed of the smooth surface and composed of an irregular surface. This is the difference between the atrium and auricle. Now we can go for the ventricle. In that ventricle, right ventricle. Okay, right ventricle, it is conical in shape. Already I said this is conical in shape. This is thicker than the atrium, and this is larger than the right atrium, and this is have the some parts. Okay, it has the two parts or two tracks. One is inlet tract, another one is outlet tract. Okay, the atrium is pushes the blood through the arterioventricular wall or tricapside valve into the right ventricle, and right ventricle is process or propels the blood to the respective arteries or in that pulmonary trunk. Okay, the right ventricle, it is funnel in shape. Okay, you can see here this is the right ventricle. It look like a funnel in shape. Okay, there are two parts here there. This is the outlet part and this is the inlet tract, or it is a inlet tract and this is the outlet tract. Okay, can go further. Some structures of the ventricles. The right ventricle is receives the blood from the right atrium through the tricapside valve. Okay, now right ventricle communicates with the right atrium through the right arterioventricular orifice, and it also communicates with the pulmonary trunk through the pulmonary orifice. Okay, now it has the, you can see here in this structure there are two communications are there. Okay, this is to the atrium by the arterioventricular orifice. This is the arterioventricular, this is the right atrium and this is the ventricle, and this is the arterioventricular orifice, and this is the pulmonary trunk and this is the pulmonary wall. Okay, and this is the infundibulum of the pulmonary. Okay, and this orifice is called as a pulmonary orifice. In there you can see the some structures. Okay, these are say as the valves or tricapside valves or arterioventricular valves, chordae tendineae, papillary muscles, and trabeculae carinii. Okay, these are some structures we can explain in next slides. Okay, heart has the two tracks or two parts. One is inlet part or outlet tract, or inlet tract or outlet tract, or inflowing part or outflowing part. Okay, the inflowing part is always irregular and rough. Okay, and outflowing part is always smooth. Okay, the inflowing part is contains the some structures or projections. Because of that, it look like rough and it is irregular. Outflowing part, it divides the or it not have the that structures or projections of the ventricles. Because of that, it is smooth. Okay, the inflowing part, it is rough due to presence of muscular ridges called as trabeculae carina. And outflowing part or infundibulum, it is smooth and forms the upper conical part of the right ventricle, which gives rise to pulmonary trunk. You can see this is the infundibulum part of the pulmonary trunk, okay, or ventricle or outflowing part of, and this is the say as the what inflowing tract or part from atrium to blood will inflow into the ventricle, from ventricle to outflow the blood to the pulmonary trunk. This tract is say as or this part is say as outflowing part or outflow tract, and this is tract is say as a inflow tract or inlet tract. In this, you can see this structure. In this, here some structures are there. Okay, you can see here thread-like structures or rod-like or rope-like structures. Okay, these are called chordae tendon, and these are some projections or irregular muscular columns. You can say as a trabeculae coronae. Okay, another one is muscular projections. Okay, a long projections in the atrium. These are say as a papillary muscles. Okay, in this we go for some structures. Okay, before that we see one video, then go for these structures. Okay, you can see here. Okay, this is the ventricle. This is the ventricle, and this is the intraventricular septum. This is the valve. Okay, and these are some thread-like structures or muscular structures, and valves is closing. And here, this is the outlet or outflow tract, and this is the pulmonary trunk, and this is the infundibulum, and here it is a pulmonary valves. Okay, you can see here some structures. Okay, or projections. Okay, these are say as the chordae tendineae. Okay, and these are the papillary muscles of the ventricle, and these are trabeculae carinae. Okay, you can see as the trabeculae carinae. Okay, you can see here also. Okay, can go for this some structures. Okay, this is a wall of the heart or atrioventricular wall or tricuspid wall. Tricuspid, tri means three, cups means leaflets or concave shape or pocket like structures. Okay, it has three cups in the right atrium and atrioventricular wall. Okay, that's it why it is called a tricuspid wall. Okay, here some structures. Now what is meant by chordae tendon? Just go for the word meaning of the chordae tendon. Chordae means it is denotes the or it is similar to cord, chordae. Okay, tendineae means denotes the or similar to tendon. Then chordae tendinis means what? Rope like or thread like, okay, structures or tendons. Okay, chordae is a word denotes from the cord. Okay, cord means it look like a rope. Tendon denotes the tendon. Okay, then what is meant by chordae tendon? Chordae tendons are nothing but a thread-like bands. Okay, you can see here. Chordae tendon is these are thread-like bands of fibrous tissue which attach to on one end to the edges of the wall. You can see these are the edges of the wall and these are the chordae tendon, and another end to the what papillary muscles of the heart. These are the papillary muscles of the ventricle. Chordae tendon means cord tendon. Cord means rope. Okay, rope tendons, and our chordae tendons means these are the thread-like bands of the fibrous tissue which attach to the what arterioventricular wall and the papillary muscles of the ventricle, or the thread-like bands of fibrous tissue which attach on one end to the edges of the tricapside wall or mitral wall of the heart, and another end to the papillary muscles of the heart. Okay, now what is meant by the papillary muscles? Okay, papillary muscles are nothing but the long projections arise from the wall of the ventricle in simple way. Okay, papillary muscles means these are the long projections arises from the ventricle wall. Okay, what are the projections? Or these papillary muscles are nothing but these are also one of the type of the trabeculae carini. Then what is meant by trabeculae carini? Trabeculae carini, the word meaning of trabecule means column. Okay, word mean trabecule means it is column. The word meaning of trabeculum is a group of partitions formed by the bands or columns of connective tissue. Okay, the trabeculum column means columni carini or meaty ridges. Okay, the word meaning of trabeculum means these are group of bands or columns, okay, of connective tissue. They are group of partitions formed by the bands or columns of connective tissue. Okay, and what is mean the trabeculae carini? Trabeculae carini, or also say as a columni carini or meaty carini. Can see here, these are the nothing but the trabeculae carini. In simple way, these are the fixed ridges, or these are the round projections of the inner surface of the ventricles. Okay, the trabecular carini means, definition of the trabecular carini is these are rounded or irregular muscular columns which are projects from the inner surface of the ventricle. Trabecular carini are fixed ridges or elevations of the inner surface of the ventricle of the heart. Okay, these trabeculae are also projections or meaty ridges of the ventricle or wall of the ventricles. These trabecular carini are mainly two types. One is fixed trabecular carini, another one is papillary or pillar muscles. Okay, these I already explained. Papillary means these are other one part of the trabecular carini, in that these are has two extremities or two ends. Okay, these are two ends are fixed but free in the middle as the membrane band by the ventricle. And these the papillary muscles that are hold the chordae tendineae, which are connects the cups to control the flow of blood. Okay, these are papillary muscles that are hold the chordae tendineae. These are the chordae tendineae and these are the papillary muscles. Okay, these are the long projections of the wall of the ventricle, and these are hold the chordae tendineae. Okay, chordae tendineae of the heart, and these chordae tendineae are attached to the what ventricle cups of the heart. These papillary muscles originate from the ventricular walls. They are attached to the cups of the arterioventricular wall via the chordae tendineae. Okay, this is about structures of the ventricle, inner structures of the ventricle. And can easily make out. These are the papillary muscles. Papillary muscles are nothing but the long projections of the ventricle wall of the ventricle, and these projections are attached to the chordae tendineae. Chordae tendineae, it is anchor the wall of the arterioventricular valves. Okay, then you can show the this is about your ventricles. Okay, in that mainly ventricles, mainly three structures are important: papillary muscles, trabeculae carinese, and the chordae tendineae. Chordae tendineae are the nothing but the thin, thick, thread-like bands of fibrous tissue which attach on one end with the edges of the tricapside or mitral wall of the heart, and other end with the papillary muscles. And chordae tendineae are nothing but the anchors the wall or arterioventricular wall to the ventricles. Okay, you can see here. Okay, you can go for the next slide. Here also you can easily make out. These are the chordae tendineae, the thread-like bands of fibrous tissue which attach to the papillary. This is the papillary muscles of the heart to the edges of the wall of the arterioventricular valves. Okay, these chordae tendineae are attached to the papillary muscles to the one end to another ends edges of the wall, and these chordae tendineae are anchors the wall of the heart. Okay, and papillary muscles are the nothing but the long projections of the wall of the ventricles. Okay, and trabini. Okay, trabeculae carinii. These are the nothing but the inner elevations or projections or thin projections of the ventricle, inner surface of the ventricle, are rounded irregular muscular columns which projects from the inner surface of the ventricle of the heart. These are called trabeculae carinii. Okay, I'll go for the next slide. The right ventricles mainly features in the trabeculae carinii are three types. One is ridges, another one is bridges and pillars or papillary muscles. Ridges, which are fixed elevations of the ventricle wall. Bridges having two fixed ends but they are free at centers. Papillary muscles, these are also one type of the trabeculae carinii. Trabeculae carinii are nothing but the columnar carinii or meaty ridges of the ventricles. Okay, and papillary or muscles are one end attached to the ventricular wall and another end is to connect to the cups of the tricapside or mitral wall or arterioventricular cups by the chordae tendineae. Chordae tendineae are nothing but the thin thread-like bands of fibrous tissue which attach to the one end to the edges of the tricapside and other end to the papillary muscle or heart wall. Okay, and these papillary muscles are three in number in the right ventricles. They are anterior, posterior septal. This is a anterior, this is posterior, and this is a septal. Okay. Go for the next slide. Can in this say right ventricle, it is wall is thinner than the left ventricle. Its walls contains the projections called as the trabeculocarinase. The right ventricle communicates with the right atrium through the right atrioventricular orifice and with pulmonary trunk through the pulmonary orifice. As the cavity approaches the pulmonary orifice, it becomes funnel shape, at which points is referred to as the infundibulum. The large projections arise from the wall of the ventricles. These are said as the papillary muscles, and they are three in number: anterior papillary muscle, posterior papillary muscle, and septal papillary muscle. And say this is the anterior papillary muscle, this is posterior papillary muscle, and this is septal papillary muscle. You can see here also these are three in number: anterior papillary muscle, posterior papillary muscle, and septal papillary muscle. And these are the chordae tendineae. And these irregular projection or fixed projection is these are called as the what? Trabeculocarinase, papillary muscle, chordae tendineae. Okay, and this is say as the smooth surface of the ventricle or outlet tract of the ventricle is say as the infundibulum. Okay, and it is a ventricle is it is funnel shape. Then pulmonary orifice. Okay, here this is the semilunar wall of the heart. Okay, these are no, it is smooth because or infundibulum is smooth because it don't have the any papillary muscles, chordae tendineae or trabeculocarinase. Okay, the surrounded by the pulmonary orifice is surrounded by the fibrous ring which gives the attachment to the cups of the pulmonary walls. The walls is formed by the three semilunar cups and two anterior and one posterior, which are concave superiorly and convex inferiorly. The no chordae tendineae or papillary muscles are attached to these cups. Okay, you can see here the infundibulum of the right ventricle is smooth, or outlet tract of the heart or ventricle it is smooth because it is devoid of the what? Papillary muscles, chordae tendineae, and what? Trabeculocarinase. Because of that it is smooth. And these wall, this is the semilunar wall, it does not have any type of these structures. Because of that it is smooth. Now we can go for the left ventricle. Left ventricle is receives the oxygenated blood from the four pulmonary veins which are drained posteriorly. You can see here these are the structures of the left atrium. The left atrium, it has the four openings of the pulmonary vein, one valve of the foramina ovale. It is also say as the fossa lacunata. Okay, fossa lanuta, and it also has the one auricle, left auricle. It is outpouching of the atrium. Okay, here whole part of the left atrium it is smooth except the left auricle of the heart. The fossa lanuta, it is nothing but a, this is the depression part of the in the left atrium. How in the fossa ovalis it's present in the right atrium depression part, that same way the fossa lanuta it is present in the left atrium. The fossa lanuta, it is fossa ovalis is somewhat sunken structure to end of the depression in the atrium. The inside the left atrium, fossa lanuta is semilunar depression found on the surface of the arterial septum. It is actually remains of the depression of the foramina ovale that is formed in the fetal circulation or fetal heart. And this fossa lanuta, it is mainly prone for, or this is the area where the most of the thrombosis of the blood is occur at this area, and it is this area or this site is very prone for the what? formation of the thrombus in the left atrium. And left atrium pushes the blood to the left ventricle by the bicapside wall of the heart or by the atrioventricular heart. Features of the left atrium. The two pulmonary veins open into left atrium of the each side of the posterior wall. Most of the whole atrium it is smooth walled and musculi pectin is present only in the auricle. The inferior of the left atrium, most of the wall is smooth. A network of muscle pectin is found within the left auricle. The posterior wall receives the opening of four pulmonary veins. The anterior wall is formed by the intra-arterial septum. The septal wall shows the fossa lanuti, which is formed by the septum secundum. And clinical importance of the fossa lanuti, it is potential site for the thrombus formation. The left atrium of the heart, it is communicates with the left ventricle through the left atrioventricular orifice. It forms the great part of the base of the heart. Okay, last class we discussed the posterior surface or base of the heart is completely made up by the by the left atrium and left pulmonary veins. Okay, and it wall is smooth except for a small muscular pectinate in the left auricles. Receive the four pulmonary veins which have no valves. The send blood to the left ventricle through the left atrioventricular orifice and guided by the mitral valve. Now we can go for the left ventricle. The left ventricle, it receives the blood from the corresponding left atrium or through the mitral valve of the left atrioventricular valve, and it propels the blood to the respective aorta of the heart. And it also has the two parts or two tracks. One is inlet tract and outlet tract. Outlet tract is always smooth because it has the aortic root. Aortic root has the tricapside wall or semilunar wall of the aortic semilunar wall, and this semilunar wall does not have the any type of chordae tendons, papillary muscles and trabeculae carini. Because of that, this is smooth. The wall of the left ventricle is thicker than the right ventricle, but structure is similar. The thick wall is necessary to pump the oxygenated blood at the high pressure through the systematic circulation. It also has the two parts or two tracks, one inflow tract and one outflow tract. During the root of the aorta, I explained the aortic vestibule. Aortic vestibule, it is nothing but it is the area present just below the orifice of the aorta in the ventricle. Aortic vestibule, it is nothing but it is a portion. It is present in the ventricle just or immediately below the aortic orifice, and it is made up by the fibrous instead of the muscular. Okay, this is a bicapside wall of the left atrioventricular wall. Okay, and these are the chordae tendineae. These are the edges of the wall. The chordae tendineae, it attached to the edges of the wall. One end attached to the edges of the wall. Another end it attached to the papillary muscles of the ventricles. Okay, these are the projections of the ventricles are called as a trabecular carini. Okay, these are the chordae tendon, and this is the aortic vestibule. Now we can go for the difference between the left ventricle and right ventricle. Right ventricle is thin, left ventricle is thicker. The pushes blood only into the lung. They pushes blood into the entire body except the lung. It contains the 3 papillary muscles. It contains the only 2 papillary muscles. In right ventricle, it has the anterior, posterior and septal papillary muscles. In the left ventricle, it has the only anterior and posterior papillary muscle. The cavity is crescentic or half moon, or it is right ventricle is look like a funnel shape. In left ventricle, it look like a circular or in conical in shape. It contains the deoxygenated blood. It contains the oxygenated blood. It forms the sternocostal surface. It forms the diaphragmatic surface or inferior surface and some part of the left pulmonary surface. And right ventricle is completely forms the sternocostal surface of the heart or anterior surface of the heart. Now, what is the difference between the whole right pump and left pump? And in that, first right atrium and left atrium. It receives the venous blood from the body. It receives the oxygenated blood from the lungs. It pushes the blood to the right ventricle through the tricapside valve. It pushes the blood to the left ventricle through the bicapside valve. It forms the right border parts of the sternocostal and small part of base of the heart. It forms the major part of the heart of the base and posterior surface of the heart. Already explained the difference between the right and left ventricle. Now, next we can go for the next class. We can go for the walls of the heart. Now we can go for the walls of the heart. Before that, we know the what is meant by the valve. Okay, you can see here, and pictures are there. Seeing here. Okay. Okay. Here also you can see one picture. It has handle and valve, and there is floor. You see here another one is picture. Okay. Now we know the what is meant by the valve. Okay. Valves are nothing but it is a device for controlling the passage of fluid or air through the pipe or chamber. Valve is nothing but it is a device for controlling the passage of fluid or air through the pipe or through the duct or through the chamber. Especially valves are automatic devices allowing the movement in one direction only. The main feature or function of the valve is it just allow the movement of the any fluid or gas, allowing the movement in one direction only. Okay, not in two direction, not in. The valves are just allow the movement in one direction only. Okay, can now go for the next slide. Okay, can see here these are some structures of valves. Okay, can see here there are three parts or three leaves or three cups like. Can see this is say as a cups. Okay, this is say as a cups. These are seeing in three. Okay, that side is say as a tricapside. Okay, can see here these cups. Okay, already I explained. Okay, these are the cup. These cups are valves, and these are the valves. Okay, the valves or cups are anchored by the Cauda tendini. Okay, and Cauda tendini anchors the valves into the ventricles. Okay, these Cauda or these valves are closed when the ventricles are contract. Okay, this is a atrioventricular valve. Okay, or it is tricapside valve. This is closed when the ventricle is contract, and it is open when the ventricle is dilate, and this is a artificial valve, okay, or tricapside valve or leaflets. Okay, you can see here is one base of the valve. Here is one ring like structure is there. This is called as a annular ring. So it is a fibrous ring that holds the valves. Okay, the most of all semilunar valves are present in the respective arteries or aortas, or in the pulmonary trunk, or root of the aorta, root of the pulmonary trunk. Okay, these valves, okay, or these leaflets, when they contract, they forms the cups like or pocket like structures. That pocket like structures or cup like structures are that say as the cups of the valve. Okay, and valve means you already know, this is one device only that controls the passage of fluid or air through the pipe. Okay, these thin layer like structures, see here layer like structure, these are nothing but the valves, and when they are closed and they forms the one concave shape structures, and that concave shape structures are say as a cups or leaflets of the valve. Okay, and these cups or leaflets of valves has the base, or these are held by the one fibrous ring, or that ring is say as the annular ring of the heart. Okay, can go for the next slide. Here see these are 3 in number, that's why it is say as a tricapside. Okay, can see here now already I say here is closed or contracted valve. Okay, see these say as a leaflet or cups of a valve, and these are the valves. Okay, and these are the leaflets of the valve, and this when is closed is have a one concave, see here like this concave. Here also a supporting structure is there in the aorta or pulmonary like that. This is present in the pipe like structures, and it forms a complete one socket or pocket like structures. These pockets are say as the cups of the valve. Okay, these are say as the cups of the valve. Okay, and these cups are also have the one dilation part just above the cups. They have the dilation part that is called as sinuses. I already explained during the root of the aorta that time what are the cups, what are the sinuses. Okay, you can see here how the cups will works. Okay, here the base of the cups, okay, or these cups are held by the one ring like structure. That ring it is made by the fibrous. These rings are called as a fibrous annular rings, and when they contract, okay, they forms the concave shape or cups. These are say as the cups of the valve or leaflets of the valve. Okay, you can see here this is the tricapside valve, and this is present in the, this is also say as a aortic valve. Okay, and this is the semilunar valve. They has the 3 cups. This is the concave surface. Okay, or pocket like structures of the valves, they are say as the cups, and just above the cups there are have the some dilatations, or these cups are opens the 2 arteries in the aorta. Okay, that arteries are say as a coronary artery. Okay, these coronary arteries are arranged the corresponding the cups. Left coronary artery it arrives to the left coronary sinus or left coronary cups. Right coronary artery it arrives in the right coronary sinus or right coronary cups. And non-coronary sinus, there is no any coronary artery arise, that is called non-coronary. This is posterior lateral and or right, or this is a posterior right and posterior left, and this is the anterior. And this opening to the coronary artery this coronary opening is say as a coronary ostium. Like this tricapside valve is there. Okay, valve is the direction of blood flow through the heart that maintain the valves. In between there are two types of valves. There are arterioventricular valves. These are valves present in between the atrium and ventricles. Okay, and semilunar valves. Semilunar valves are present in between the ventricles and the respective arteries of the heart. Okay, the name only denotes arterioventricular valves. These are present in between the atrium and ventricle, and these arterioventricular valves, they prevent the backflow of the blood from the ventricles to the atrium. And these semilunar valves are pocket shaped valves. I already explained. Okay, another one we can go for the meaning of the semilunar. The semi, it is Latin word. In semi means in Latin it is half or partial or somewhat or incomplete. In Latin semi means half. Okay, and lunar means it is related to the moon. Okay, and now what is meant by semilunar? It is half moon. Okay, it is look like, or this shape is like a half moon. Okay, or crescent. Okay, semilunar means it is look like crescent or it is half moon shape. Okay, the pocket shaped valves known as the semilunar valves are located at the base of the arteries responsible for the transporting the blood away from the heart and preventing the backflow into the ventricles. You can see here these two are the semilunar valves. This is the pulmonary trunk and this is the aortic root of the aorta. These two are the semilunar valves and these are the arterioventricular valves. On right side arterioventricular it is tricapside, on the left side it is bicapside. And what is meant by tricapside and bicapside? Tri means there is 3 cups. Bi means there are 2 cups. Okay, you can go for one video. In that we see the how these valves will works and how they are present. Okay, you can see here this is a arterioventricular valve. Okay, and these are chordae tendineae. Okay, these are chordae tendineae. These are chordae tendineae. Okay, these are chordae tendineae. These are anterior, this is posterior, and this is septalar papillary muscles, and these are the trabeculae coroneae. These are papillary muscles. Okay, you can see here these are the valves, arterioventricular valves. Now we can go for the heart valves. The heart also ensure the unidirectional flow through the heart. They compose of the endocardium with the connective tissue core. The two major types, they are arterioventricular valves and semilunar valves. The arterioventricular valves lies between the atria and the left ventricles. The right arterioventricular valves are tricapside. They are called tricapside because they have the 3 cups, and left ventricular valves are say as the bicapside because they has the 2 valves. You can see in this picture clearly. Okay, this is the right arterioventricular. This is the right arterioventricular valve. This is has the 3 cups. 1, 2, 3. You can see here these are the semilunar valves. This also has the 3 cups. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Because of that, these are say as a tricapsule valve. Right arterioventricular valve is tricapsule, and this is say as a mitral valve, or it is say as a bicapsule valve because it has the only 2 cups in the left side. Okay, the arterioventricular valve prevents the backflow of blood into the atria and the ventricles are contracts. Semilunar valves. Semilunar valves prevent the backflow of the blood into the ventricles. Aortic semilunar valves lies between the left ventricle and the aorta. The pulmonary semilunar valves lies between the right ventricle of the pulmonary trunk. The lub dub the sound of the lub dub is due to the valve closing. Lub is closing of the atrioventricular valves, or dub is closing of the semilunar valves. You can see here like this will work. During the root of the aortic root, I explain about these valves. Okay, I just briefly explain about this. Okay, this is the root of the aorta. Okay, it is present just above the left ventricle, or the root of the aorta. It is the bridges the in between the left ventricle and in the ascending aorta. Okay, and these are the leaflets or cups of the what semilunar valves. Okay, and these cups are holded at the orifice of the aorta by the one annular ring. Okay, this annular ring is called as a fibrous annular ring. It is called as a aortic annulus. Okay, this is annulus. It holds the it is present on the orifice of the aorta. Okay, and these annular rings it holds the what valves of the aortic valves or semilunar valves. And here these are the cups. Just above the cups there are dilatations in the aortic root. These dilatations are say as the or pocket-like structures like dilations of the aortic root. These are say as the aortic sinuses of the heart, and these sinuses are attached to the what ascending aorta, and that junction is called say as a sinotubular junction. Okay, and see here aortic root, it is resemble like a one box. Okay, how the box it has a roof, floor and valves, that same way it also has the roof, floor and valves. Okay, the whole valves also has the floor. Okay, that floor is made by the one fibrous ring. That ring is called as a annular aortic ring. Okay, or annular ring. And roof is formed by the junction between the arteries, corresponding arteries, and that ring or that junction is called as a sinotubular junction. And these are cups like structures or pocket like structures or concave like structures. These are say as the cups of the valves. Okay, and these are structures easily seen when they are contract or when they are closed. And see here, these are the valves or cups of the semilunar valves or aortic valves. Okay, these are concave in shape. Okay, or pocket like structures. Okay, just above these leaflets or cups there are dilatations. Okay, these dilatations are say as the aortic sinuses. Okay, these aortic sinuses are gives the what in the aortic roots there are dilatations or pocket like structures in the aortic root. That dilatations are say as the aortic sinuses. These aortic sinuses are gives the what blood supply to the right coronary artery and left coronary artery by the right coronary sinus and then left coronary sinus. And these opening of the right coronary artery that are called as a coronary ostema. Okay, and these are nothing but the semilunar valves or leaflets or cups of the valve. Okay, and these valves or leaflets are holded by the one ring-like structure on the orifice of the corresponding artery. That ring-like fibrous ring-like structure is say as the aortic annulus or annular ring. Okay, and just below the annular ring there is a space in the ventricle. Okay, that space that bridges the or makes the tracks between the ventricle. Okay, ventricle and the aorta, or ventricle and the pulmonary trunk. That is called as a aortic vestibule. Okay. Okay, these are 3 in number. Okay, these are aortic wall. This is left semilunar cups, this is posterior semilunar cups, this is right semilunar, and it is a junction between the ascending aorta and this dilated part of the aortic roots. That junction is say as a sinotubular junction. We already discussed about semilunar walls. Now what is difference between the semilunar walls and arterioventricular walls? Okay, the right arterioventricular wall is tricapside and separate the right atrium from the right ventricle and prevents the backflow into the atrium. And similar wall in present in the right side, that is pulmonary walls, that separates the right ventricle from the pulmonary arteries, prevents the backflow after the ventricular contraction. Another one is left arterioventricular, that is bicapside, that is presents the left or separates the left atrium from the left ventricle and prevents the backflow of the atrium. Another one is aortic wall, that separates the left ventricle from the aorta, prevents the backflow of the ventricular contraction. Now we can go for the blood supply of the heart. Okay, I already explained aortic root is gives the blood supply to the right atrium and right coronary artery and left coronary artery. Right coronary artery from the right coronary sinus, left coronary artery from the left coronary sinus. Right coronary artery, it moves along with the coronary sinus, and left coronary artery is with the intraventricular sinus. We already discussed in the external features of the heart. Now arterial supply of the heart. The arterial supply of the heart is provided by the right and left coronary arteries, is arise from the ascending aorta immediately above the aortic wall. The branches of the right coronary artery, they are right marginal artery or acute marginal artery, posterior intraventricular artery or inferior posterior intraventricular sulcus present, sinoarterial nodal artery, arterioventricular nodal artery. Left coronary artery and their branches, the left anterior descending or anterior intraventricular artery, septal branches and diagonal branches, they are left marginal artery and left circumflex artery. Then venous drainage of the heart. The whole heart will venous drainage by the coronary sinus. Okay, and that coronary sinus opens in the right artery. The most blood from the heart wall drained into the right atrium through the coronary sinus or coronary vein, which lies in the posterior part of the anteroventricular groove or coronary sinus or coronary sulcus. It is a continuation of the great cardiac vein. It opens into the right atrium to the left of the inferior vena cava. Now nerve supply of the heart. Before that, what is the relation between the heart and brain? Just here on some quotes are there. The brain saying to the heart, if you love again I will kill you. Heart further it is loves. Brain saying to the heart, I hate when you make me look like an idiot. Okay, this is just quotes. It is a relation between the heart and brain. Never heart will agree about brain. They are sometimes differ, heart and brain. Just that is quotes, okay, not take serious. Nerve supply of the heart. The heart is innervated by the sympathetic and parasympathetic fibers of the autonomic nervous system via the cardiac plexus situated below the arch of aorta. The nerve supply is mainly by the sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic by the parasympathetic by the vagus nerve and sympathetic by their corresponding ganglions. Okay, the inversion of the characteristic of the heart. The both SA node, sinoatrial node and atrioventricular node or AV node supplied by the sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic by the satellite ganglions and parasympathetic by the vagus nerve. Okay, the SA node supplies the by the right vagus and right sympathetic, and AV node by the left vagus and the left sympathetic. And this is the conducting system of the heart. First impulse of the heart started at the SA node or sinoatrial node, then at the AV node, then bundle of His, then Purkinje fibers of the heart. Okay, like this conduction system of the heart will start. The SA node is present just below the superior vena opening or orifice of the superior vena cava in the right atrium. The AV node also present in the right atrium, where the both what we can say intra-arterial septum. Okay, in the right atrium, just right to the intra-arterial septum and just above the tricapside wall of the heart. Tricapside wall of the atrioventricular wall of the right side, and from there is impulses go to the bundle of His. There are two type of bundle of His. It is along with the intraventricular septum. In that it forms the two bundle. There is right bundle and left bundle. Okay, this is RBB and this is LBB. If any conduction distance is there in this bundle of His and right bundle branch and left bundle branch, then these bundles further gives a conduction to the muscles or myocardium of the heart by the Purkinje fibers of the heart. When your brain and heart move on two different tracks and you have to choose any one is really confusing, but choose is yours. Be confident on whatever you choose. It may be heart or it may be brain. Thank you very much.